following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
To the Adventure in Puntland on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipe Man.
Holy crap! I'm live from Costa Rica. I have my pipe nuts with me, live from Louisiana. We have the swamp nut, Rebel Meddler.
Hey, y'all, what's going on?
And then I'm in Florida, and there was just a discussion last night about actually not last night, yesterday. I was in this advanced immersion Spanish class so I could actually do better at conversing. And so there was somebody else in there from Texas, and she was talking about in Spanish in the class about how loco both of our states are, Florida and Texas, and what a bunch of jerk-offs that have come to these states. And why do we get the rejects from all the other states? Okay, listen. There's people coming to Florida from New York, and here's the thing. Real New Yorkers would not move to Florida, okay? So
what about the snowbirds? They do it all the
time. The snowbirds, that's one thing. There's people just picking up and leaving New York and coming to Florida. People picking up and leaving California, coming to Florida. Why? Because we're the only free state, supposedly, because of our great, never mind. So anyway, I don't have to talk about him because he's not running for president anymore. He wussed out, dropped out, and then all this talk. This is how politics is such bull crap, because all this talk about him talking smack to Trump, and now he's kissing his ass again. Okay, come on. It's all a bunch of bullshit. You people that are getting separated and divided in our country from all these politicians. Listen, have you ever watched Obama and Bush together? They laugh and they're having a great time. Meanwhile, they were mortal enemies too. They're all on the same team, and it ain't mine. It ain't yours. But you know who is on the team? And I am going to go after Trump, Nikki Haley, Biden, and Donald Duck. Pipe Man is running for prez once again in 2024. Let's hear what he has to say. Da-da-da. Rebel, you got to do that music in the background, sing the presidential march.
No.
You got to do it while we wait for the commercial. Look, I'm not looking at the private chat. Maybe I'm being told something.
Could be.
We're on pause. Okay, we'll come back to that commercial at some point. Juan will just interrupt me, no matter what I'm doing, and play the commercial.
An instant break-in for the Pipe Man commercial for president.
So, listen, if he wants to cut me off right now, he can do it.
Bring back the good old
days,
that power. And I will have sexual relations with that woman. Vote Pipe Man for prez.
Okay, but Juan, we missed the first part. There's two parts to that commercial, so we're going to have to do that again. The first part is my endorsement by Clinton. Okay? So, and I'm running for the Donald Duck party because screw the rest of the parties, okay? Republican, Democrat, they're all a bunch of cartoon characters. But back to Rachel. Okay, so Rachel is our new co-host. she's from Texas, and even though I'm not, you know, listen, I'm an Italian Jew from New York and New Jersey. I'm no fan of Texas. I've driven through the state multiple times, and I can't tell you I ever liked driving through the state. In fact, we drove Rebel. Didn't I drive live on this show? This show, live through Texas, and it was almost a disaster because the pipe man does not belong in Texas. But
neither do I. Come and get me.
and I just found that out about you the other day because, you know, the only thing holding me back from marrying you is that you're in Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
But now I have something else too. Okay. Because not only are you in Texas, and I don't know how you got to be a pipe nut, but, you know,
Is she the left or the right? We just need to clarify that since, you know.
she's got such a big mouth, she might be both.
Oh.
But the
I can handle
cowboy hats with you. Listen, okay. Do you people even understand that you lost the war a couple 100 years ago? Okay. Like, get rid of cowboy hats. You know who else? You know what I think's ironic about the cowboy hats in Texas?
What?
And before I go into that, let me first just say I have to formally, properly introduce you. You are also a co-host on Movie Reviews and More, and because of that, and because of this thing called Coffee Talk, which I'm going to say it's the New York way, you know, listen.
Yeah.
I am a huge, huge fan of you, even though you're from Texas and are wearing a cowboy hat.
Thank you.
And even before the show, I was a huge fan of your kneecaps. And so let's welcome, you know, like
Rachel, please.
the most incredible next to Rebel co-host that we could have.
Yeah.
Oh, look, she's got a
Rachel.
Right.
But
Who knows what's going to happen?
I love it. It's like you're like
Thank
my twin flame over there, except for
Yeah.
the cowboy hat in Texas. Especially like, okay, listen, who
Might
the
have to
hell
get rid
even
of
wants to live in Houston? I mean, if you're going to go to Texas,
Nobody loves to live in Houston.
Really?
I can't get that
But-
to work.
what I can say is this, okay?
Mhm.
So, you guys are making this big deal about the border right now. Meanwhile, you copy the Mexican people because the Mexican people are the ones that wear cowboy hats, and you guys are just imposters.
Yeah, we got the rodeo coming up. So yeah, we beg to differ on that. But you know, I like to tell people I live in a little town in Mexico called Houston.
Yeah, well, when was the last time you were in Mexico? Because on the Pipe Man Homeless Tour, I just got here in Costa Rica from Mexico. So when's the last time you were in Mexico?
Never.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. I am in Mexico. It is. I'm right.
Okay,
smack
but
in
the other Mexico,
the real one.
Yeah,
Oh,
not the one
goodness.
that you
Yeah,
stole
it's
from
been a
them.
few years.
Not the one that you stole from them. Okay, because literally we stole Texas, we stole Baja. Like it's a bunch of bullshit, you know, because and now you're going to steal their cowboy hats. Okay, what the hell? It's just wrong.
I don't think Mexico still, you know, does the whole ownership of cowboy hats. I'm gonna go with a false flag on that one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna think that cowboy hats
That's because you're a Southern cracker. Well, you're not a cracker because you're not from Florida, but you're a red Billy. I'll call you a red Billy.
The red Billy.
That's my new name, Red Billy. You combine the two. Thing one was a red Billy because half her family was hillbilly, half was redneck. I'm not sure which one really disturbed me more, to tell you the truth.
On any given day, it can be anything, really.
Yeah, what really disturbed me is when, you know, my youngest daughter was saying something about being Jewish to her mother, and contrary to belief in this world right now, it's not just a religion. As a matter of fact, I just had my 23andMe done, not because I wanted to, but I did it for a favor for somebody else to find out some deep, dark family secret. Okay. And
yeah, I'm on that, which is
yeah,
good
well,
because I found out that the guy that I've been seeing, I started seeing somebody, and it turns out
that's rude.
Well, he's now listen. As it turns out, he's my cousin.
Well, that
don't fuel the fire.
Rebel does that shit all the time.
No, I got my new
Listen,
calendar.
I love it. And I have to say something about Rebel, okay? This is the 18th season of The Adventures of Pipe Man. This is the first time anybody's ever seen Rebel.
That's right. In 18 years, people, y'all haven't seen me.
I mean, like, Rachel asked me, you know, and I'm like, I'm not even sure if she's going to show up. And, you know, like, I can't tell you what she looks like either because that's her business.
You know what I look like? You've met me in person.
I said that's her business. It's not my story to tell. Somebody asks me, what does this person look like? And they don't show their face anywhere. It's not my business to say it.
I tell everybody I'm a figment of their imagination. So they just need to create create a character, and whatever you create in your head, that's what I look like.
Yeah, well,
this is not as good as you can create in your head.
A character you are. Let me ask you a question. When you had sexual relations with the KKK, was that your cousin?
Oh, Jesus Christ. No. I have never had sexual relations with. Okay, wait. We clarified that.
We did clarify
oral sex is still considered sexual relations in your book.
In every book. If you're married to somebody and like you cheat on your wife and she catches you and you say, but honey, all I did was get, fellatio performed on me. Hello. She would consider that sexual relations.
Okay. So seeing as we're talking about oral sex, yes, I did have oral sex with a member of the organization. I did not know that he was a member of that organization when I did it. And when I found out,
is he
no,
was here? No, I'm fucking my cousin.
No,
y'all think I'm joking?
never.
I am fucking my cousin.
I'm definitely not. I have not.
I like that. I'm not. That's okay.
Are you done? Are you done with it? Oh no, you think it's hot.
I'm just getting started. It kind of turns me on. It's like, that's straight out of the fucking porn shit.
Man, I'm now.
But not a first cousin or anything, right? Cousin down the line?
I don't. Yeah, it's so funny. I started seeing this guy. I have no family anywhere. Like I have distant cousins in Italy. So I started seeing this guy. And I talked to his mother, who I became friends with on Facebook, and she was like, "This is so strange. We have the same last name." And I was like, "Yeah, I noticed that." Yeah. So it turns, and then she's like, "You really look like one of us too." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's funny. We figured it out." And I'm like, and she's like, "Do you know my son?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Wow, what a small world. We're cousins." At this point, I'd already been fucking my cousin. I was like,
At any point, did you feel any kind of vomit coming up that made you weird, or?
I got a little excited. It went the other way. Now I'm going to introduce this guy as he's my boyfriend cousin. Here's my cousin.
That's perfect. That's perfect. And
burning hell for this, I'm sure.
Like you're in Texas, so if you guys have a kid, it'll be like a two-headed rattlesnake.
Fuck it.
It's good. So let me just go back to the Jew thing, because all these people and see, you're taught as a Jew from a young age. It's not just a religion, it's an identity, it's a people, and it is in your blood. So I did this 23andMe under protest because, voluntarily giving your freaking DNA to the government. What are people thinking? Okay, but they already have they already have my DNA anyway. So, like, okay, it's too late now. You know,
Yeah.
she's buried somewhere in Texas. But no, anyway, is there a statute of limitations on that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Not on
Uh,
murder. Not on murder.
what about burying the dead body? Is there a statute? Because that's the only thing I'm admitting to.
There is a statute of limitations for certain things, but not on murder. They're gonna pull it up as a murder charge first, and then go down to who actually did the murder. I'll have to look that up. Is there a statute of limitations on hiding the body? I'll
Yeah,
call.
look that up. Let's figure that out. But turns out, okay, here's something funny because my family's so screwed up. Like, I don't know what's a true story, what's a not true story. And there's not many people to validate or not validate. My parents didn't even know what time I was born. Okay. So, but there were
I
some
don't know
stories.
Yeah.
Well, we don't even know if you were actually born, though. Maybe,
No.
maybe you were brought here or something. You know, you never know. Like, you never know what
Really?
really happened. Do you really know what happened? You have these memories that are imprinted. I mean, have you ever thought about that? That some of the memories we have, you have to question whether they're your memories or memories somebody put in your head, because they tell the story 10 million times. It's like,
Wow.
so there were a lot of stories, and it got
Mhm.
confirmed. Like, I wasn't really sure about my family history, but it got confirmed. Okay. And even the stuff we weren't sure about, that got confirmed too, because yeah, it's like at this stage in life, you think that the dysfunction of a family
Mhm.
would no longer have effects on your life, but really it
Wrong.
does. Yeah, really it does. Because listen,
Mhm.
I have a sister that is 30 years younger than me, younger than all four of my children. So of course that's not drama from a
Wow.
douche. That's not drama from a douchebag. I don't know what is. And then so like there is a relative in my family that turns out to not be my relative. But I do want to say that I never consider blood having anything to do with family. Blood may be
Mhm.
relative, but family is family. And most of the
Mhm.
people that were not my blood were more my family than my blood ever
Mhm.
was. Okay. But the thing is, with the Jew thing,
Mhm.
okay, it showed that I am 62.1% Ashkenazi Jewish. So if it was not your people. Like, I've had people say to me recently when I'm saying
Mhm.
stuff, it's not your people. Yes, it is. When you're born Jewish, you're automatically a citizen of Israel. So if you
Mhm.
want to bail on the US because it's getting so screwed up crazy, you have a place
Mhm.
to go. Once again, the Gentiles were not provided for. So this may be how the Jesus
Mhm.
second coming is going, because that's the whole concept of the Messiah and Jesus was because God never provided for the
Mhm.
Gentiles, all the Jews. So it's like, oh, I screwed up. I have to provide for them. And so, he sent this rabbi who, like, made everybody think after it started as a cult that, this is the Messiah. But he didn't do anything the Messiah was supposed to do. So I guess some people killed him. I don't know. I
Yes,
don't
some
really know
people
the whole
kill them.
story. But I actually do know the whole story. I was there. Like, you ever get in those arguments with people, okay? And you were there and they're telling you you're wrong, but they weren't there. I had this argument. I have to say, may he rest in peace, but I have to honor him in the show, Chad, the original pipe
Mhm.
nut, okay, who's no longer with us. But me and him got in an argument in the studio one day, and it wasn't like we
Mhm.
didn't get into arguments like that. It was more like a debate. And he was
Mhm.
very, especially towards the end, he was very, very like Christian, Jesus, Jesus. And he
Mhm.
said, I said something to him. He was saying something. I'm like, how do you know? Do you know anybody that was here when Jesus walked the earth? Like, all you know is what people told you, what was written down, da, da, da,
That's
da,
the
da.
problem with people. We only
Yeah.
know what people told us, and they only know what people told them. So unless you do your due diligence and figure it out for yourself, you'll only know what someone told you.
Exactly. So,
Hmm.
I mean, and he, you know what he said to me next? He goes, well, that's like saying,
What?
how do you know the Holocaust happened? And I bring this up because people still say this now. And my answer to him was, is because I know people that were in the Holocaust that are living right
Yeah, there
now.
it is.
Okay. And
There's
because
that.
my family, which by the way, I'm like, it said I am 98.4% European. And that was part of the stories that, you know, my grandparents came over from Europe and, you know,
Mhm.
although they weren't involved in the Holocaust, they kind of left because of it type of thing, you know, and like my grandmother had 2 different birthdays because when you came over this country, you had to hide, so you couldn't have the same birthday, and
Wow.
my name isn't even the original name. I don't even remember what the original name is, and, you know, that's what went on when people were escaping those times, so,
Did they
like,
make them younger or older?
is what?
Did they make people's age younger or older?
I don't know. I just know, like, my grandmother, nobody ever knew her age till she died. Like, she always
Oh,
used to
wow.
say, yeah, she always used to say, now, you don't ask a lady her age. Like, she
Yeah.
never, like, she was one of those. But she's also
Yeah.
like, okay, empowerment to all women. Grandma Sally, you know, my grandparents were Harry and Sally. Can you imagine that? When Harry
Oh,
met
no.
Sally.
Shut up.
And they were like, listen, listen. My father was married to and was married to 4 times to 3 wives. My mother was married and divorced 3 times. My brother's
Wow.
mother was married 3 times, divorced twice, and widowed the 3rd time. Um,
And you
my
talk about us?
well, wait,
I
wait,
know,
wait,
right?
wait.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like,
But
how
wait,
Louisiana, Texas are you?
I know. Wait, I'm divorced twice, thank God.
Yeah.
And my grandparents, Harry and Sally. Oh, and my grandmother on my mother's side, she was married 3 times. 2 of them died, and one of them was Italian mafia. That's my grandfather. And but then my grandmother and grandfather on my father's side, they were the story like when Harry met Sally. The 2 of them
Oh,
were so in love that my grandfather died at 64. My grandmother passed away at 83. She never even looked at another man the rest of her life. Okay. They were partners in business. And here's the wild thing, it was during the 50s, and my grandmother was the one in charge. They had a business, they had a kosher bakery in New Jersey. My grandfather was known
nice.
as one of the most renowned bakers and cake decorators in the world, but he was the baker. She was the one that ruled with an iron fist. She ran the business. She ran all the finances. It was the exact opposite of what the 50s were. She was a strong, empowering woman during a time where you weren't supposed to be, or in some cases, allowed to be. And so that's why we have our radio station, W4WN Radio, which is our all women's station, because I think we need to keep empowering women and stop grabbing their pee, you know, and like listen to what listen to what Bill Clinton did, and that's not really empowering women. What Pipe Man is going to do will empower women.
Hey folks, this is Bill Clinton. I listen to W4CY.com. And just remember, I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Bring back the good old days, and I will have sexual relations with that woman. Vote Pipe Man for Prez. And here's going to be one of my platforms. I want to get a survey, an opinion from the people of the United States of America and the world. I want to know which is worse, having sexual relations with the KKK or having sex with your cousin. and let's see what happens with that.
KK.
I don't know because it's bad to have sex with the KKK, but at least you don't come out with some deformed kid that's going to do the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Okay, like Leatherface. That's exactly the product of having sex with your cousin. Just saying. And I know you Southerners are trying to rebuild the population so the South can rise again. But listen, you lost the war. You're not going to win. Listen, look at the people you vote for. Of course, you're not going to win. It's just not sorry about that. You might want to just become part of Mexico. It'd be better. When is Texas going to secede already? That way Mexico can invade Texas, take it over and take it back, and we could get rid of you people.
Oh.
Do you know?
You people.
Yeah. No. Oh, and on
When you get back from Costa Rica,
statute of
you can kick your
limitations.
ass.
Come on down. I dare you. I dare you.
Yeah.
On the statute of limitations for burying a body,
Yeah.
they only talk about it being the legal part of burying the body, like entombing something or burying a body. They don't actually have any answers as far as if you're just gonna hide the body. So can't get you that.
Well, that
Nice.
is, that is grounds for winning in a trial and grounds for appeal. So that's cool. So I want to defer to, the whack job over there in Houston. What the hell is this coffee talk shit anyway?
Coffee talk. Coffee talk.
Is that what you guys in Texas call coffee? The stuff that
Talk
comes
about
out of that hole?
bullshit.
Is that the Texas version of a Keurig?
Yeah, that's it. Coffee talk. Talk about
All right,
bullshit.
tell us about coffee talk. What is this coffee talk
Okay.
crap?
So it starts anywhere from 2:30 in the morning till 11 the next day. Like to be consistent here. And I just talk about bullshit. And I
What
never
kind of
know the
bullshit?
day.
Like what did you talk about today on Coffee Talk? Let's
I don't
talk
know.
about that.
Probably you,
Get-
probably.
Okay, so
Did you
if
watch it?
Rebel, here's
Uh-huh.
here's some homework for you right now.
Okay.
While we're talking, look up on her Facebook Coffee Talk for today
Talk.
and play it. Play it on the
All
show for us. Okay?
I like it.
So find it and play it. In the meantime, for those of you after 18 seasons, this is the first time you're tuning in. Well, bye. No. See, you waited this long, okay? I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to play something because I was on somebody's show recently that I met at a festival on the Pipe Man Radio Tour, which we're going to be talking about that after this. But this was at Rocklahoma, which I love Rocklahoma. That's one of my favorite festivals to do. I don't know if you people in the South can pick up on this, but it actually happens in Oklahoma. That's why it's called Rocklahoma. Just saying, okay? Because I know
Go
things are
slow.
slow. I know things are slow in the South. They may be big in Texas, but they may be big in Texas, but the big people are slow. That like when those big people in Texas are chasing this Yankee down, man, they can't catch me because I'm too fast. Okay, and they're too slow. They gotta go grab their horse.
Blow in the head.
Which, speaking of which, I did go on a donkey ride in Mexico. Like, how stereotypical tourista is that? Okay. I did not. Okay, so
I did
one.
a donkey in Mexico once, but it was a different kind of ride.
What?
Just kidding.
So one gave me-
What's worse, fucking your cousin or fucking the donkey?
Cousin still wins, my opinion. But let's
Really?
get, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Juan was telling me something to eat when I was in Mexico City, but I'd been on a date with somebody over in Puerto Vallarta, and she already told me about it, and I didn't do it, but not that I wouldn't, I just didn't. But there's a few delicacies, but one, he told me have a grasshopper taco.
I make them all they're congrios. I make this. I put this shit on top of guacamole, everything.
See?
Grasshoppers are good.
See, I knew it. You guys belong in Mexico and Texas. Get out of the U.S. Okay, please.
Yes,
And
congrios.
I want all the people that want to come in this country to come in this country, so there's no room for Texans and they have to leave. But the other one I was told to have, and this one, their justification is like, well, it's like eating caviar. I'm like, I don't eat caviar. I think it's gross. But ant larvae, I can't say it today, in tacos.
Yeah, I don't know about the ant larvae, but I definitely do the crickets or the congrios. Yeah, they're good. They're just like little crunchy things. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I've had different things before that. I just haven't had. But then I guess the bad spirits in Mexico City were not happy with me because I was walking through the ruins.
You ate their crickets.
No, I didn't eat them, and I think they were mad that I didn't. I insulted them because I'm walking through ruins and something stung me in the arm. Like I didn't see it. I don't know what it was. And I was talking to somebody via text that lives in Mexico City that I'm friends with. And she was like, that's the spirits. Like you pissed them off. and my arm literally blew up. Like I was like, oh no, man, I have to get to Costa Rica. I don't want to spend time in the Mexican hospital, and I was like leaving that day to go to Costa Rica. I'm like, oh God, I'm not going to make my flight, which I may have to talk about that flight coming to Costa Rica because that was an experience. But first, I want to play this clip I was talking about. So people that have been here for the first time or have been here a million times and just don't pay attention, like a lot of people watch or listen to this show with the volume off. They enjoy it much more that way. Okay. So I'm asking everybody, please, at this point, unmute your speaker and check this out. This is a rare occurrence. It's the Pipe Man being interviewed. Actually, everybody wants to interview the Pipe Man, and there's only special people that get to do it. Brian got to do it twice, so like he's pretty special,
Brian's
but not
special.
in the way.
He is special.
But not in that way though. So let's check this out.
You become the host of Pipe Man Radio and dive into the world of radio.
Well, so those are like two different stories, the radio part and the Pipe Man part.
Yeah.
But so we'll focus on the radio for a second. And that is because I used to be very big in the investment business. I owned brokerage firms and insurance agencies. And I used to go and do radio shows, pay to do radio shows to get leads for my business, which was very effective. And also as a motivational speaker, like many other motivational speakers, you did a radio show, infomercial, what have you, to get people to come to your seminars, buy your products, all that. So it was always something that was kind of a marketing part of my business. So I didn't come into radio in the traditional way, whereas, you go and you intern at a station, you're like, I came a totally different route. But from that route, I learned a different part of the business. As somebody that had like posh offices and Class A buildings, I'm like, yeah, you can't run radio like this. Like if you go to a real radio station in New York, which is where I would go, they were these fancy studios and all this. And professionalism, professional engineers. And so I saw the vision of where media would be today in 2023. There's people out there that try to hold on to something in radio that doesn't exist anymore, you know, and I call it WKRP in Cincinnati syndrome. And for any of your listeners that don't understand that, what that means, there was a 70s TV show about a radio station. And if you watch that TV show, you will see radio is nothing like that anymore. But that is how it was like then. Nobody could see this vision I saw, but there was one thing I also saw. You couldn't do it the way they were doing it. You couldn't do it, at least then, and people take it seriously, by not doing it professionally, with professional sound, professional studios, state-of-the-art equipment, and treating it like a business instead of a hobby. So that's what happened with me with radio. All righty then. That's what happened. That's what happened with me. Now, let me tell you the story of what happened that led to that interview. So a lot of times, you know, I go on the Pipe Man radio tour and I interview all these people back in the press area, and there's a lot of other press people there. I always seem to get a crowd. Ask Rebel, she's been with me. Like the other media people, right? They surround me while I'm doing an interview.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they were she was there with the person that was
Just
doing
gonna get good. I'm gonna get my sex toy because she was kind of hot.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. Okay. 100%. So, you know, so her and this other woman who was also hot were behind me, you know, not in a good way though. They were just behind me doing their interviews. Yeah, I don't care, wherever. If you're that hot, it doesn't matter. And behind, sideways, upside down, I don't care. You know, but here's the thing is that, you know, I was looking over them. I'm thinking, oh, they're hot, but I'm working, so I'm not going to approach them. But they ended up approaching me, and then we ended up becoming friendly and hanging out and, you know, doing, you know,
more things.
Talk, business, you know, shop talk. But then, you know, we went to see GWAR. We were standing on stage for GWAR. Okay. And the two of them decide to go down in the pit so that they could purposely get sprayed by GWAR. Because if any of you watching or listening have ever not seen GWAR, GWAR will spray. Yeah, they spray with blood. They spray with semen. They spray all this stuff out there. And, you know, they do it when the press people or the photographers out there, like photographers that cover GWAR shows, like they bring all this gear to cover up all their gear, and they know they're going to, because GWAR is just going to do it right at them. And I've interviewed GWAR a few times. It is pretty funny. There's times I've interviewed them without their costumes and makeup, and like nobody knows.
I went backstage and met them in their tour bus because I was with this guy, Nikki Sicky, Verbal Abuse. And so he's good friends with them. And they were changing, and I'd seen them in costume. And when they came out, I was like, who the fuck are you? This guy's like all in golf shorts and like all neat and preppy. I'm like, no fucking way. What the?
Right?
Who is this? He's like, that's me. And he had this voice. He's all like, no, that's all for show. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I was at Download, I was interviewing them, and what happened is the airlines lost all their crap. So the tour manager comes out and like, listen, they don't have any of their costumes or any of that stuff, and it won't be here till later. You know, do you want me to bring them out anyway? I'm like, sure. He goes, yeah, just don't tell anybody or anything. So we're sitting there, okay, and I'm with Blothar. And it was so funny because the photographer across from me was sitting there, and I'm interviewing. Nobody knows this is Blothar that's with me, okay? But then he starts it like there were like some gummy bears. He yells over to the dude. He's like, hey, those are your gummy bears. And he does the total Blothar thing. Let me have him. Let me have him. Hey, let me have him. Still had no idea. It was so funny. Okay. I've also had at festivals where I've hit on hot women that turned out to be in a band that wears a costume and didn't know. Like one time I was talking to this woman and we're hanging out and we were getting along real well. And then she asked me, "Hey, do you know where Pipe Man is? I have an interview with him." And I didn't even know that she was from the band, because this band, you were, the whole idea was nobody was supposed to know what they look like, which is a big thing nowadays. Yeah. So I'm going to do something too, by the way, just so you know. But don't tell anybody, okay? Don't tell anybody, nobody, anywhere in the world.
Wait a minute. Do you forget we're doing a live show?
Oh, never mind. I better not tell that story then. Just watch out. Something's coming. Something's coming. Let me just say, it has to do with something.
Okay.
Wow.
So anyway, back to what I was saying about the hot chick.
Has to do with something.
So then, okay, I always successfully avoid the guar gunk, okay? Like, because it stains you. Like, it gets all over you. So
it's emotionally disruptive.
They come up and they're like all blue and red all over. And the one of them just runs up and gives me a huge hug, like runs and jumps on me and gives me a huge hug. So I got guar shit on me then. So now my record is I'm blemished. Pipe Man has been diseased with guar gunk. So yeah, so that's how it happened. And she decided she wanted to interview me, and I'm like, well, okay, you're hot, I'll do it. No, she's
Don't
really
let her
good.
twist your arm or anything.
Yeah, you know what? She's really good. She has a podcast called Teaser Talk. I highly recommend it. It's not on our network, and I recommend it. So that tells you that I like it, because like most podcasts on our network, I'm not going to tell you to go listen to it. But she's cool. She has great guests, and she, like she interviewed the Pipe Man. How bad could she be?
Did she sleep with him?
No.
No.
Not
putting toy away.
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. However,
not that he can remember.
However, if there's somebody out there that does want to sleep with the Pipe Man, well, it's not free. It's kind of like some of the Ticas here in Tamarindo where I'm at. It's not free. So maybe Rebel, you should like tell us a little bit about that and see where that goes.
Well, you can definitely, everybody likes to get coupons and whatnot from the internet. So I bet you there's something we can find to give a little discount.
Are you tired of the same old bed and breakfast? Come visit the Pipe Cave, where you can service the Pipe Man all night long, and then serve the Pipe Man breakfast.
And then get the hell out.
That's the Pipe Man Groupon. The Groupon special is normally $1.99, but today it's on sale for $99. Just call into the show right now. 561-623-9429. And you too can have the Pipe Man Groupon. I had the Groupon. You should too.
There it is. There it is.
You had the strap on.
You know what? I needed to run that commercial because based on the 2016 election, that commercial will help me win the presidency. And by the way, people are so dumb that in 2016, I actually got 4 votes for president from my ads. But So let's take this time quickly for both of you, my pipe nuts, to kind of tell a little bit about who you are, what you do, what you want to promote, give your socials, all your contact, and, offer any of your, sexual favors.
Rachel, you first.
She let Rebel like sloppy second.
No.
I do too.
Ooh, I like
okay,
it more
so
and
I
more
am
every day.
Rachel Roberts. So I have Rachel Roberts recipes. You can find me at Rachel Roberts Recipes on all social media platforms. Every morning, watch me coffee talk. And writing a book called Eating Clean, Drink a Little Dirty. So hopefully that'll get done soon so I can start talking about it more. And on movie reviews and more, live every Tuesday, 7 Central, and with you guys now. So I'm very excited about that. Working on other
I'm
stuff
excited
too.
about it too. And I just want to tell everybody, she is a freaking badass. You must follow her or you can't listen to my show. Okay. And you will be banned from the Pipe Man Groupon if you don't follow her too. And I mean, she is just incredibly talented in so many ways. And then there's Rebel.
Oh. And then there's Rebel. That's right. And then there's Rebel.
Rebel.
Come on, Rebel. Tell him. Prove me wrong.
No, you guys know me. You can reach me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord. Oh my Lord.
Do you have an
TikTok
OnlyFans?
now?
Do you have an OnlyFans? I couldn't find you on TikTok. I couldn't find you on TikTok. What's your TikTok? Because I was trying to tag you on TikTok today and I couldn't find you.
I'm on TikTok, but I didn't actually do it. Everything's under something different, so kind of refix all that.
That is so Rebel. What's your tag? What's your tag on OnlyFans?
OnlyFans is not up and running yet. It is not.
Okay, I wanna ask you guys a serious question. Okay.
Yes.
And I know the answer to this, so I want to see who's right. Okay. So, which is better? Feet or food?
Wait, what?
Feet or food? What?
Feet or food?
Feet or food?
Yeah.
Food.
And what are we talking about?
Those are the two top OnlyFans things that make the most money, are either feet or food.
I'm gonna guess feet. I'm gonna guess feet.
Feet on TikTok. It's feet.
Yeah.
Let me see your foot.
OnlyFans.
Rebel, show us your foot.
So if you're gonna do an OnlyFans, if you're smart, what you need to do is eat food with your feet, and you will be making huge money. Huge.
All right.
Okay.
Really?
Okay.
I like it.
So I also want to talk about the Pipe Man Radio Tour because that will be starting after the homeless tour. This is currently the Pipe Man homeless tour. I was in Mexico. I was in Puerto Vallarta, Sayulita, San Pancho, Mexico City, not by choice, but ended up by choice. Now I'm in Costa Rica. I'll be all over Costa Rica. And this is the off time for the off season, because the festival tour starts up in April. There's a few things coming up. There's a new festival that's on the Pipe Man Radio Tour for 2024. You're going to have to tune in another time to find out about it, but it is in April. It is on the 27th. And I'm just going to say it's either in Las Vegas or it's in Orlando. So I'll leave it there. And then
that's a big space between.
Welcome to Rockville, which is in May, and you need to show up. That's up in Daytona, where the Pipe Man gets to drive on the Daytona Speedway to go to the press tent to do some interviews. And man, what a lineup. This is one of my favorite lineups. You got to go to welcomerockville.com and check it out because, oh my God, the lineup's insane. And then in Ohio, Sonic Temple, another badass lineup. I mean, you need to check out this lineup. Absolutely incredible. So that's part of what's going on in May for the Pipe Man Radio Tour. And then in the summer, the possibles, okay, we're still finalizing the details, are Download, Leeds, the Heavy Music Awards in London, the Hellfest, Grass Pop, and the Hellfest is in France, Grass Pop's in Belgium, and then possibly Incarceration in July, Bloodstock. I mean,
fun shit.
I mean, this is going to be great. But then coming up in September, we have a couple of my favorite festivals. One of them is Louder Than Life. In October, on my birthday, will be Aftershock. But this one I want to talk about now, because this one we're promoting now. We're doing ticket giveaways for this now. You can win tickets to Bourbon and Beyond. That's in Louisville, Kentucky. And we're going to run the commercial right now so you can hear all about it.
The world's biggest bourbon and music festival, Bourbon and Beyond 2024. A perfect blend of bourbon, culinary, and music with Zach Bryan, Dave Matthews Band, Tyler Childers, Neil Young, Beck, and Louisville's own My Morning Jacket, Matchbox 20, Cody Jinks, Maren Morris, and more. September 19th through 22nd in Louisville, Kentucky. On sale now at bourbonandbeyond.com.
There it is. And there it is.
I need to be at that. I need to be at that. I am a bourbon drinker.
All right. Well, we may make that happen.
Hell yeah.
So here's the deal. We're at the end of our rope here. Okay. And, you know, for states like Tennessee, that could mean a lynching now that they brought lynching back. Okay. But I think the lynching should be for the people doing the lynching. I think we should bring lynching back and just lynch the people that do the lynching. But we're out of time here. We got to go. I have to say, I love my pipe nuts, even if I can't stand them. Okay. Rebel rocks. Rachel rocks. What? I'm gonna have to think of what she's the swamp nut. You're the chef nut. We'll call you chef nut.
Chef nut that eats with her toes.
Yeah, that eats with nuts. There it is. And I want to thank Juan for engineering this disaster.
For putting up with us.
And stopping me from ruining the show. And man, the listeners, the viewers, everybody in the whole freaking world rocks, except the people I don't like. You guys suck. Thanks for watching and listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man here on W4CY Radio and Talk 4 TV. See you next.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.